Ladies and gentlemen, Kusangpo and welcome to Chang Limithang Stadium, where today's fixture could have a significant impact on the upper reaches of the BoB Bhutan Premier League table, as it is TRANSPORT United FC up against BFF Academy. Two clubs with very different identities. One side, despite their culture, focusing on youth and development. The other interested with nurturing the country's brightest footballing talent. But this afternoon there is one objective that matters above all else: a place in the top three. The table remains incredibly congested right now, and both sides know that victory today could lift them into the league's leading pack and within reach of the top place, which both have been missing for plenty. BFF Academy success early on, but right now on a losing streak. Loss against RTC, loss against Thimphu City, loss against Paro. Finally looking for redemption, but opposite them is a side built on culture, the Grizzlies. Under head coach Yishe, it is TRANSPORT United FC with Tikendra Singh back in goal, Sange Chopel 15, Tai Daniel 95, Bishal Tamang 8, Jimmy Singh 19, Martin Saidel, Demilola number 3, Andrea Boyamoa 10, Bikash Pradhan 16, Kinle Doji 11, Abayomi and the youngster who has gotten alongside Kinle plenty of minutes, Kamal Urrao. Opposite them is BFF Academy, whose starting 11 under head coach Karmadema is as follows: Tenzin on goal, their third goalkeeper, under Sherab and Thor, followed by Chogeles Sherab, number 3, Tsindu Jamso, who's gotten back in the starting lineup, Desho Drucker 14th and Inseong 12th, Kinza Rixin 17, Som Doji 10, Tinley Hazen 19th, and Ipunso 11, Rinzin Doji 7, and Dendub Gelsen 15. As both teams arrive on the field, BFF Academy in white, their goalkeeper in blue, TRANSPORT United in red, their goalkeeper in the neon green, as we await the national anthem to kick things off. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Zongpo, and welcome back here at Chang Limithang. Awaiting action is a face-off between two promising teams. TRANSPORT United, giants of the past, lost a lot of members. Their trio in for the Fofana, Alex, Willen and Olawale Olatipo over to Tirang, Kilipenjo over to City, Jigdrill over to RTC, and still, despite those losses and despite a renewed commitment towards developing their youth from their academy, and has given consistent minutes to their youngsters as well to back up that statement. But despite that, they right now are in a pretty solid position. 5th in the table, 12 points, 1 behind 3rd and 4th, which are Thimphu and RTC. Even if they win today, 3 points will take them up to 15 below Thimphu City, who have 17, and below Paro, who are up top with 19 after the win against Tensong. So amazing efforts. Did have some last minute issues. I'm not quite sure what happened to their coach, but we have seen a shift in management. Formerly it was head coach MJ who led that squad to a string of losses in the end. But since then they have signed a couple others. It was Ishwanda alongside Atayeshe, who's back in the helm for the Grizzly squad. On the other end for BFF, once upon a time they were atop the leaderboard with a lot of promise to carry on with that form. But since coming back from the international break, they have been plagued with losses. They do have a tournament coming up as well. So I do believe that they are trying to give as much exposure, as much experience to players in their bench as well. As such, we are seeing Tenzin Wanchu right now taking the reins over in the post for the BFF Academy side. This is his second start, if I'm not wrong. Did see him last time around in their last outing. But they do have Sherab their second and Tanupenjo Thor their first on the bench, awaiting their chance as well if the need ever comes in. And right now, all the youngsters are looking for a renewed momentum because they do have the capacity as well. Their forward core of Somdoji, Rinzan Doji, their captain, and Chinlegeze, 19 down on the wing, has been an extremely efficient trio up front in terms of conversions, as a result of which Rinzan Doji is all the way up top as one of the league's top scorers. 7 goals to his name. Had a decent streak where there was no game where he didn't score. Consecutive games where he scored, but did lose that form in their recent loss versus RTC. And now, while this may not be a traditional rivalry, it is a meeting between two ambitious clubs with everything to play for. The Grizzlies versus the Academy. 90 minutes and a place among the Bhutan Premier League's top 3 waiting for the winner. BFF on the kickoff. Only the countdown remains. Before we proceed, do let me know which team you are supporting. Do let me know what you think the score at the end will be. But before it all begins, this is your commentator, Undesh Tochi, as we await the countdown to get things going.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. Let the countdown begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And there it is, the starting whistle, and now BFF in possession. Sontoji driving it up long. There is a massive stature difference, but physicality, as BFF Academy has shown again and again, is not a department where they will lose out. They are very strong, they are very capable, and they utilize their build to the fullest of their potential. But facing them is one of the league's most explosive sides, not a consistent strength in that starting 11 from Transport United. As we've seen time and time again, they did struggle in the middle of their campaign after starting out strong. Well, even that start was a loss over to Tensung, as that time it was still a squad finding their rhythm. That midfield core of Bikash, Andrew Buyamoa and Bishal Tamang still developing at that point. The only thing that was working for them was their defense in Tai Daniel, who's found an amazing partnership with Martin Zayateleta Milola. And with Tenzin and Jimmy down on the wings, well, that backline has been solid, but production, typically the identity of a guns-blazing team in Transport United, did get its fair share of struggles, plenty of losses to back it up as well. But right now, despite all expectations, they are looking pretty solid. Before the season began, with the announcement from their president and their club that they would not sign too many foreign players, they did release a lot and would instead be focusing on giving more minutes to their youth sides and spend a season or two developing their youth. Well, people thought that they would not really be competing for the title as BFF Academy. Well, there you go. Seems like BFF Academy finally has found their rhythm back. And it is their winger Tinley Yeze, a core of their squad that has blazed a path open in the early minutes of the game. Not quite sure what happened down that left back for Transport United, but Tinley given a lot of space to operate, a lot of space to wind up. And look at that. That outlet caused enough of a distraction centrally. And early on, BFF now with the lead. What's a turnaround? Here as BFF. Again, a reminder to our fans as to what is at stake. They are right now 6th, right behind Transport United. 10 points to their name. If they continue on with this form and end up with the victory in the end, they will jump up to 13 in a 3-way tie between Thimphu and RTC. So a lot to play for, as that does get them within at least a possible margin within a game or two of the two teams up top in Thimphu City and Paro. Well, that strike from Tilaser caught me at a loss of words. But again, after spending a stretch without any conversions, what a way to get right back in. Clinical there from Chile. One of the few capable in the squad of getting those qualities off of shots with both right and left, as now on the other end, Biku. Too controlled, too hesitant on that delivery. Headed off by BFF. Transport United. Now in possession through Titanial. Biku launches one up front. Kamal. Flag was up nonetheless. So it will be BFFs to take the other way. Again, that explosiveness being tested on that right Tilaser in the last couple of games. A major reason why he could not get the goals we know he can get was because he was playing more of a creative role, helping out deep, and as a result, he couldn't get back to his position up front where he could use his pace to full potential. But this time around, posted up, made short work again. Kille on that right for Transport United. Made a solid run, but Chogal set up. A bit too much use of the hands there. And it will be Transport United's. Because early delivery did not really get the connection he wanted. But this time the chance to redeem himself. Has found confidence for himself. And that passion back up after scoring that winning goal in their last outing. So hopefully a chance to deliver yet again as Biku plays it back post. Header clipped right down the way and an overhead. Clipped a body up by Yomi, a bit too dangerous there. Have to respect the ambition, but the defender coming in the way. Again, a closer look at that. Not quite sure what the extent of the contact was. Yup, boot towards the face. Respectable drive there from Abayomi. But into Jamto. And between Titanial from behind as well. Again, in the meanwhile, just a recap of what happened early on. Sange Chobel tracking back, but a bit too far out. Well, Tsinujamso has been taken out to get evaluated, but in the meanwhile, Transport United have gotten themselves a corner and a chance as that delivery clipped off by Abayomi will be sent far out. Initiative lost. It will be BFF's the other way. BFF playing it risky. That pressure came in very, very quickly from Transport United. Did force that clearance right down the middle towards a teammate at least, this time as now Sange Chobel. Plenty of calmness there from Sange. Typically not one of their starters. It was from his side that they conceded a goal in the first 2 minutes. But right now showing a little bit more calm. Seems like those nerves have settled down as BFF may get a shot from afar. Biku closing in and a slip there from Tile Heze. We'll get it right back to Tikendra. Stolen off. BFF's captain gets a pass in right down the middle, but the hustle there from Bishal to send it right up now. Kinle left-footed. Dug that shot up. Dug that pass up. But couldn't find a proper outlet. However, Abayomi now getting the chance to light up that left flank in response. Left-footed clipped and no contact inside. However, Kamal now on the other flank. Tried to keep it down, but BFF gets the challenge and it will be a throw-in for Transport United. Again, a closer look at that dangerous run there, but Dechok Drucker still at least managed to get to the ball before that threat could escalate any further. As Andrew Aboyamo looking for a throw-in to play it long, again alongside Nimongni and Sinjanio. One of three to have that power in that throw-in, but this time he is keeping it short. Jimmy keeps it back for Martin Saitele Tamilola. And now Jimmy. Bikash right down the middle, but not quite a favourable angle. Titanial has dropped up to help out on that corner, and it will go back to Tikendra. Calm possession there from Transport United. Again, despite conceding a goal, they do seem to be doing a really great job keeping their calm, keeping their composure. As breaking and crumbling mentally would only backfire on themselves, especially against a team that could have very, very likely get yet another in amidst the short window of opportunities they get. BFF looking comfortable. Andrew a bit late. Knocked him down. And the card coming in. Quick restart there from BFF. But evaluations underway. Again, a closer look at that. Just a wild swing right towards Tile Izer.
That time it was
Chinle struggling to get back up. Seems like he will require a bit more time before he is good enough to come back in. Prayers up. Hopefully he is able to come back in, because his pace, his ability will be missed quite dearly by the academy squad. It is Transport United, however, who wins it right back. Kamal up front, lobs it up high to Andrew. It may have been perfect, but the bounce, take it away. The initiative, and now Academy, solid job holding out on defense, and it will be a goal kick. Solid coverage there from Dendu Kelson. Made quick work of that opportunity down on that left. Kamal, solid delivery as well. Andrew just couldn't get the read on that bounce. Correct. On screen is Tenzin Wachu for BFF Academy, their third goalkeeper, in fact. First is Tendepenjo, followed by Sherab, who we saw a couple of times as well. So a nice initiative there from their head coach Kamatema to give their bench players a couple of opportunities as well. But those kinds of shots will not be enough to test the goalkeeper. Andrew, bit too much haste there with that shot. Heavy touch there down the middle. Andrew couldn't quite keep it under control, and now BFF through Rins Doji down on that left, trying to cut in, but Kinlet Doji had that read to perfection. And now Kamal up front will let it roll, but Chogal Sherab, one of the league's most underrated defenders, in fact. When you've got foreign signings in that possession, really hard to get a notice of those kinds of players. But Chogal Sherab in that back line has been doing a really great job. Also, outshining his defensive prowess is his long shot ability, which he sometimes gives the audience a treat with. Late in the match, if there's plenty of comfort on his side and he has a lot of space to work with, he lets loose amazing missiles. But this time, it is his defense that will be tested. Abayomi cutting back in, finds space, but Chogal again! Clean timing on that tackle! The action to back up the words from my side. Thank you to Chogal Sherab. But doesn't really look like his job will be over quite yet, as Transport almost took possession back, but it will be safely BFF's. Again, a closer look at that amazing run by Abayomi. It is what he's known for. It is what he's been doing in the league for so long. But this time, that final touch read proper and cleared off by Chogal Sherab. And now Transport United, quarter of an hour in, one down. Send it up to Kamal, who does get a touch in. Amazing recovery there. Abayomi now back out. Sangi Chobel had the vision there, but that pass too far out for that narrow of an opportunity. And now through Tinlezer, who is cutting right in, finds Techok, who can't get that pass back to Alu. And now Abayomi the other way, 2 against 4. Andrew Abo gets a touch in, but that touch way too powerful for that little space. BFF Academy facing off against a 5-man back. Kile Doji helping out down where BFF's captain is. But at the same time, it should be a lot of pressure having equally capable monsters on both flanks. Is Doji down on the left. Tinle over on the right. Alu, this time much deeper, but his teammates will do well carrying it up, but it goes towards Alu nonetheless. Somdoji gets it right back, lobs one up. Martin Sayatele did well. Solid moves there from Tinle, but not quite enough to get past that double team. Had that first defender down. But on the follow-up it was Bishal who got a clean read in. And now BFF through with the throw-in. Solid delivery. Rinzin Toji got a touch, but a bit too hard on his shins. It will be cleared off by Transport United, but it will not matter. It is Chogal Cherap in that backline for BFF, who will get that possession now, and down the middle to Kinza Gelson. Tried to find Todo in his run, but Titaniel posted right down the middle, gets it right back out to Biku. Kinle. Jime. Kinle. Biku. And now Abayomi, who has switched over to that right flank, will test out Chogal's side, who does well putting a body in that explosive run there from Abayomi. Almost caught up to that ball, but solid defending again from the academy side. And now a marvelous touch there from Todo, who will send one out from distance. But despite the effort, a bit too low there for the goalkeeper. Titaniel. Andrew. It is a one-on-one. If he can get that turnaround, he may find a lot of space. But again, amazing defending. Number 3 not letting any ball through from his side. Transport United came in expecting a battle against youngsters, but right now they may have to rethink their execution going forward. Because this BFF Academy squad not letting an inch down up against the Grizzlies. Expecting to be the Hunters. Right now, not finding much success in their hunt. Kamal got that touch in behind Abayomi. But the youngster again lacking the confidence to get those shots in. He is trying to fill in for a more creative role, trying to set it up for his teammates in Andrew Abayomoa. Maybe Biku, maybe Abayomi up front as well. But in the midst of his role, he has to come to a point where he realizes that his team may need a couple of shots from him. As Abayomi from way out simply sent one in, and it went in as well. And Transport United will find themselves level up against BFF, who held that lead for no more than 19 minutes. Again, a closer look at that. The defense almost closing in as well. But it will not matter. That shot launched up way earlier than the defense anticipated. Well, what's up with these goals we are having today? They are going in, but the defense are getting caught off guard time and time again. Abayomi now off of BFF Academy's mistake again, finding a lane for himself. Will hand it over to Bhikkhu. Look at the space that has been created off of the sheer gravity of the captain. But Kamal and Bhikkhu just couldn't find the connection. Kamal was committing to that run, but Bhikkhu pass went directly towards the goalkeeper. Close call there for BFF. Despite getting the lead early on, plenty of confidence as well, now find themselves back to square one. Their efforts nullified by the Grizzlies captain. And with that, momentum is with Transport United. The last couple of possessions, it has been Transport United taking clean advantages of BFF's midfield and forwards, who seem to be a bit out of it. Disho Drucker and Dendru Kelson have been important, winning key possessions back, but Chogal shut up right now, their main man in the back, may want to up their work rate a little bit more. Not quite sure if that is even possible. But Transport United again off of a lazy pass there, and now Abayomi flicking it right back. Bishal setting it up despite the miss the first time around. Abayomi still gets an angle off, but this time will clip that ball a bit too under. And Tenzin Wanchu, goalkeeper for BFF Academy, for sure breathing a deep sigh of relief. Casual delivery by Chogyal that does escape the press, and it does earn them possession now inside Transport territory. 25 minutes in, both teams level right now at 1-1 each. Heavy challenge there from Aboyamoa. Alu had that footing. It will be BFFs to play forward. Zindu jumps up. Does seem like he is back after taking that bicycle kick from Abayomi straight to the neck or the back of the head. Not quite sure, but it was pretty painful. Did take some time, but seems like he has found his rhythm back now as BFF Academy looking promising. That final touch there from Tandepunzo set it right up, but the two defenders, Aitele and Sange Chopel, shut that attack off immediately as that developed. Sonam, BFF Academy, chance now. They have found their spark. They have found those passes going in, but right now had the opportunity to get something going. But it is cleared off quite hard as Transport United have a man down. BFF delivery inside, header from Ayatele, keeps it right inside the box. Rinjin Toji takes it off of Kinle, but it is still BFF. Well, not for long. Chogyal had that final touch. Andrew now setting it up for Kinle up front. Chile, chance again, down on that flank, retreating, gets it right down the middle possibly. No, it will go over to Tsindu Jamso all the way on the other side. on the other side had a bit of space in the opening couple of minutes immediately after they switched it up. But now no longer in the initiative. They do have a runner up front, but he is offside. Yes, they committed to that a bit too early. Also may not be much to talk about, but now at least we do have a solid, at least a reliable offside cam at least for our viewers. Just wanted to get that out of the way as we saw that replay on that run up front from Chinle. But right now, both teams no clear advantage. Transport United did find that one goal by way of a complete surprise. It was a decent effort from Abayomi, but it was simply an opportune movement that hit the captain for the Grizzlies simply took advantage of. There's now Sonam looking to get a facilitation in the front. Had the vision. Chile did have the pace to get to that ball if need be, but just simply couldn't time the start to his run correctly. Got a bit off guard on that one. Throw in now for Sange for the Grizzlies. Zeleta Milola, the centre back, trying to take it up front, but not much help. Only Abayomi up front, and now Kinle. Back to Jimmy. Bishal. Solid one up front to Kamal, who tried to keep it underway for Andrea Bo to get a run in, but simply placed a bit too far forward. It will go back to the goalkeeper, and now Chogal Sherup's turn to get that orchestra underway. Now Tsindu. BFF. Sonam taking it right down the middle. That challenge came in clean from Titanial, but that flag, now a lot of caps. Martin Saitel is stepping up. Delivery towards midfield, where Transport United are allowing a lot of space over for the youngsters. Dendup. Still Dendup. Decent left foot there. Tikendra again finding it hard to get a reaction in. Not quite sure what is happening with the goalkeeper. But definitely will have a couple of words over for his defenders, who shouldn't really have given that much space, knowing and having seen that that wind-up was going to happen. But at the same time, Transport United working with the new coach. Up until now, it was head coach MJ up until last match. And the one they have right now, Ishwanda, only got the call to be the head coach for Transport United a day before their last match, which fortunately ended up in a win, at least for them, where typically it is supposed to be a struggle when you change your coaches, especially when you change your coaches last minute as well. But so far they seem to be doing a great job, because they do have head coach Ishiwanshu over with the Transport United ladies side to help out with the men's, as he was their coach last season. So pretty easy transition there, as Abayomi now with a lot of space up front. Solid pass there to set it all up, and all the captain had to do was find an angle not covered by the goalkeeper. As both of Transport United's goals Now by the way of the captain, as they get back the lead. BFF's advantage early on with that goal scored from Tine. Now a memory of the distant past.
Transport United FC, scored by jersey number 7, Abayomi.
Again, a closer look at that. Abayomi, goalkeeper, solid form as well, but just couldn't cover the entire. Chuggle set up. A lot of pressure now on the shoulders of BFF, who thought they had an easy road ahead with that one goal early on. Choyal couldn't quite get that accurate. But it is still BFF's to play. Right down the middle at the edge of the box. Gets that turnaround. Solid pirouette. Off the wing. Got right back in. Tendup hesitated in that first touch. And now immediately on the counter-offensive, where Transport United has shown a lot. But that delivery cut short. Kinley tried to cut it in, but rins in. Read off, shot blocked. Center jumps off. A bit less than 10 minutes remain until the end of the first half. Kinza rigs in. Choggle Sharap now on that right flank. Lofted up all the way over to the captain. Again a solid touch there. But it is enough for a challenge to come his way. But that outlet towards Center Jamso will find space in midfield. Tanin. Tinley. Kamal taking that assignment. But Tinley is wanting a better angle. Back to Chogil. And now back on the flank. Well, at least the hold-up was amazing. Can't really say the same for that delivery, as it will go right back out to Tikendra Singh. Sonam. Solid in. Chile on that right again, but Tikendra this time manages to get a save in. Solid chance there for BFF. But Tikendra holding down the fort this time around, but not a good sign for Transport's back line. If that space keeps opening up time and time again, Titanial gets that clearance on behind Martins. Still BFF's ball cleared back out on that flank. Looking for a delivery. Kamal closing in from behind. Driven low, Titanial sends it off now to Abayomi. Mashed up against Chogel Sherab. Can he find the space to send that ball all the way up front for a race? Somehow, yes he does, but Chogel Sherab enough of a hindrance. To win possession back, and now up to the captain. Rinzin Toji against Chimi. Titanial coming in to help, a bit late on that lunge. Angle, open, follow up, and a solid effort there. just simply couldn't find the target. Decent effort. Solid effort as well. Adjusting and getting off a shot on that first touch. Martin Milola. Now Tekendra, Transport United, despite their lead, by no means is it comfortable, as BFF look to mount solid possessions time and time again. They are not frequent, but when they do arrive, they are looking lethal for sure. They will have to be careful. Jimmy finds an outlet towards Pikash. One touch cannot go towards Beku. And now BFF down on the flank, but Kinza Rixon sent it right towards the defender. A bit more than 5 minutes remain. Aizele Damilola, Boyamoa. And now Sangi Chopel down on the flank. Solid coverage there. It will be Transport's call. A closer look at that opportunity again. Tilly is the same angle, same foot. Just the Kendra looking a bit more alive in that situation. And now Biku try to get it under control, try to lob it up above the two defenders, but that outlet will go towards BFF Academy, who now find a solid outlet down on the flanks, but Jimmy again. Biku, a bit too much flair. And now Todo mashed up against Titaniel. Solid footwork, but so is it from the defender as well. Titaniel caught to that fake just before Dodo could send it the other way. But it is still BFF's to work with. Right from their back line, it is now in midfield for BFF Sonam. Tile over to the wing. Abayomi. Biku. Solid delivery up. Chogel may not have the pace. Abayomi looking to get a shot in up. And yes! 40 minutes in. Abayomi, the captain of Transport United, has found a hat-trick. Three for Abayomi and 3 for Transport United.
Goal for Transport United.
As BFF's early goal
Number 7, Abayomi.
now no longer carrying any weight in this matchup. Solid pass there from Beku. Set it right away from the defenders. Tejo Draka tried to get in there with the tackle. But by that point, both Abayomi and that ball far too out. As Doji trying to take matters into his own hands. He'll find it difficult to get past that triple team. And now back out to Tikendra. Abayomi looking dangerous, but this time his run cut short. However, an outlet will develop towards Jimmy. And now Abayomoa on a blistering run right now. Abayomi, first goal in the 21st. So about 19 minutes between his first and the third, which still is not the fastest hat-trick. I do believe that it was Bakrom who had 14 minutes between his first and third. Pretty sure we haven't had a record faster than that for a hat-trick. The fastest goal was against Academy Ngong Sonam. Still safe, however, Abayomi, if he manages to find yet another one, that may be it. Goalkeeper right there, collision cleared off. BFF Academy will avoid danger. But finally the whistle to get evaluations underway for the goalkeeper who is down. Back to the restart. Seems like their goalkeeper is alright. But a risky possession there. Will now get possession over for Transport United.
There will be 3 minutes of added time.
There it is, 3 more minutes of additional time until the half ends. And right now Transport United looking solid, carrying a lot of momentum over. Chance to get in. Yet another one. Transport United through Ty Daniel have found goals in that situation again and again, but this time just a bit too driven in that effort. It will be BFF's to take. Ty Daniel. Kamal dropping deep, opens up space for Abayomi down on that right flank. Chogat this time a much better job. Will send it right out a corner for the Grizzlies. It is. Not much time remain. The last 30 seconds. Ty Daniel. Header clipped off of BFF. It will be yet another corner. So far, at least Ty Daniel has been the target accurately and consistently. Looking forward to a similar delivery from Bhikkhu. Really hard to do that But at the same time, Titaniel, his hustle may get him towards the ball. And yes, he does, but so close to that one going in. Well, with that effort, again, a closer look at that. Plenty of power, the definition of a bullet header. Just went off the crossbar. But anyways, BFF Academy lead early on, had the opener inside the first 2 minutes through Tinle. And since then, Transport United have found the equalizer and the lead and extended upon it even further. 3-1 the scoreline before we head to the halftime break. But until then, thank you guys for tuning in. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already over on Facebook. Do go give our official pages a like as well. It is the BoB Bhutan Premier League, the BoB Women's National League, and the Bhutan Football Federation official page for more information, updates and announcements. Until then, this was your commentator, Oguntesh Tochi. See you guys in the second half. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kuzangpo, and welcome back to the second half of the showdown between TRANSPORT United FC, who have 3 following. The opener from BFF Academy, 1 substitution made so far. As Tanpenjo, Thor has been brought in for Tenzin Wancho. With the change in goalkeepers, expecting a better performance in terms of denying those shots which are being let in a bit more easily than they can, because right now that backline, despite trying their best, aren't really capable of finding a favourable matchup up against TRANSPORT United's captain Yomi. So hopefully bolstering that goalkeeper position does work, as right now their forwards, who have found success once before, trying again, but Tolo, despite setting up a solid opportunity down that left flank, will find no finish.
Substitute for BFF Academy. Jersey number 20, Tenzin Wancho, is replaced by...
But with that, it is still BFF Academy who still finds themselves in possession until that clearance from Ty Daniel will send it all the way back deep into their own territory. 1 minute in, almost a solid chance as well. 2 minutes all it took to find their opening from Tinleyezer. Right now on the same pace as well, but couldn't quite find the same finish. On the other end of the spectrum, it is Abayomi. A bit under 20 minutes all it took for him to find a hat-trick, which has blazed TRANSPORT United's way up front. Looked like a struggling match until that first shot went in, and those 2 runs simply had no chance of being stopped. But BFF Academy right now will do better to not lose hope, as they did get a solid run in on that right from Tinleyezer. Abayomi, the target, solid header, flicked it right back out, but Kille just a bit too late to that approach. It will be BFF Academies to take. Abayomi let one off again, hoping for fortune to smile down upon him, as it did in those couple of goals early on. But no luck with that one. Intercepted quite early on. It will be BFF's possession now. Their backline, again, the entirety of this squad looking solid in build-up, but just simply unable to find a finish in that final stretch. Time and time again, they are finding favourable gaps down on that flanks, where they themselves really love to operate in. Tanapunso. BFF trying to find a way down the middle. They do, past off the crossbar. Follow up, however, may get a chance there from Tinleyezer, but clipped off that challenge. Blocked off on the second. Biku still down on the ground. A close string, of course, there. And with that interception from Andrea Bo, it will be a short breather as Biku down on the ground, but will be forced back up as the referee continues the play. And finally, evaluations underway for Biku. Again, a closer look at that solid pass. Again, very short window of opportunity there for Dodo to find any contact at all, let alone an accurate one. And still managed to get one in off the woodworks. Just unfortunate that it had to come right back out. Still one for BFF Academy, Transport United, still 3. Abayomi, Biku, not on the score sheet yet, but his passes have been dangerously accurate today. Took him a long while to get used to this season, but seems like the Biku we all know and love is finally back up online. And right now, against them, BFF Academy gained a lot of love for their successful campaign in the first stretch of the season, but since then has found trouble time and time again since the international break especially. We still know that their caliber of play is effective against pretty much any team out here in the league. Just the issue that they aren't able to win. Of course, their last couple of matches have been against absolute juggernauts. TC Timusiri Paro, their biggest tests, and right now Transport United as well. But still, their football looked like it could have translated over much better than what it has in the last couple of games. Their ability, with their ball at their feet, in a class of their own. But they are right now trying to force a bit too many possessions out down on the ground. And are trying to settle in for more possessions rather than more shots, which is impacting them quite negatively. As again, BFF. Solid move, outlet right inside the box. Decent effort there, had the arc, had the pace. Just not on target again. A closer look at that, Dodo. Properly winded up. Tikendra again unable to get a proper reaction in. Very likely that that would have gone in had that been on target. Right between the legs, Sange Chopel, but couldn't quite connect on that pass towards Pishal. That's now Tane. Tane Bunso over to Tinazer on the right, but closing in was a perfectly timed challenge from Sange Chopel, and it wins possession back for the Grizzlies. 53 minutes in, no goals since the start of the second half, but a comfortable cushion for Transport United. 2 goals the difference, with BFF Academy's 1. Kamal. Rizdoji all the way up front. Stayed on side as well. One-on-one matchup. Got past the first but stumbled on his own dribble. It will now be Titaniel taking it right down the middle. Andrea Boyamoa looking for Abayomi. Techo Drucker is beat. Abayomi smashes one right in. In a class of his own, Abayomi with all 4 goals for Transport United.
7 Abayomi.
No chance there for BFF Academy, especially with that pass that was delivered up front to Abayomi with pinpoint precision. Transport United on another level today. Typically, these passes never come. But right now, their full production, their full potential with those passes, ever so accurate, is completely terrorizing the academy side. Didn't get the record for the fastest hat-trick. Not quite sure if it was ever recorded, but should be out there with the fastest 4 goals scored. And Abayomi gets past Chogel. Abayomi still. What? Smashed it, but smashed it towards the side post. Those defenders nowhere near closing in on that shot. As now a couple of substitutions are being made. Then Gelson taken out for Arpan Gurung. And Kinza Rigzin coming out for King Owachu.
Double substitution for BFF Academy. Jersey number 17, Kinzam Argelson is replaced by jersey number 2, Kinga Wanchu. And jersey number 15, Dendrik Gelson is replaced by jersey number 9, Arpan Gur.
Didn't really have a record on the fastest 4 goals. But pretty sure that would have been up there with one of the fastest goals to 5 here in the BoB Bhutan Premier League men's side. But Abayomi open net. A stinker after a stellar one, and it is now BFFs to play. But however, right now, if those passes keep coming in again and again, this time accurate as always from Beku. Abayomi cutting in. Back heel. A lot of space for Kinle, but he will launch it up above the crossbar. Again, didn't mention that, but we do have a solid turnout out here in Changlimetang. Pretty sure the screams from the first couple of goals went over. And these people simply decided to join in. Nice to see that level of love. But right now they are getting their money's worth. As Chogel Cherop tried to look for Tanipunzo. But stolen off by Transport. Stolen off now by BFF. Solid lane down the left. But that pass set Rinzan Doji way too far back. Andrea Bo came in with the challenge. But it will still be BFF Academies. Somdoji struggling in this game, haven't really found the involvement he typically would have wanted, but has handed it over. Left-footed delivery inside. Daniel hung up in the air to send it towards Beku. Clipped off. And it will be awarded over to BFF Academy. Desha Drucker. Kingawachu, who's come in, gets his first touches, but stolen off. Bishal had the chance to send it up front to Kinle, but Chogel. Typically, I love to see those shots coming in from him. Gets a lot of power, gets a lot of pace on those shots, but this time a bit short as substitution and away for Transport United. Kamalurao coming in is Techen Jiktrol for the Grizzlies.
Substitution for Transport United FC. Jersey number 9, Kamal Uro is replaced by jersey number 13, Techen Jiktrol.
Daniel seems like he will continue to be checked out by the medics. Hopefully, it may be an opportunity now for BFF Academy to find an open back line against Transport United. But on the other end, Abayomi Fakunle for Transport United with 4 goals in this match alone is 1 goal away from matching Rinzin Toji up at the top. 7 goals right now between Utah Tiger and Rizdoji, I think. And Abayomi only 1 away, only 1 match it took, as now Chinle puts himself up. But that pass, not the best of decisions, who could have chosen to go in with. Dangerous possession in a dangerous position as well. And the youngster simply decided to hand it over. Could have taken that shot on that first second of getting that ball, as his team will definitely need the production from his side. Their captain right now, despite getting a lot of shots off, is not seeing the rate of conversion we are used to seeing from him. On the other end, with Tinazer having already scored, should have the momentum in his favor at least. As BFF Academy, solid passing, gets one right down the middle, but Daniel back in, immediate impact as well. As Kinle, Abayomi, amazing pace, but not enough to get in past Tane Penjo. Right to that back line. Sange unable to clear it off proper, but got a solid read on that touch there from Chile. It will be BFF's down on the sidelines. Andrew closing in. Kinle helping out. Somdoji did his best, posting up, is still on the line, but Abayomi down. BFF, respect, will send it away to get Transport's captain checked out. Back in play, Transport. Handing it right back over to BFF. Sangye might have been a costly mistake. Chinle has plenty of pace. Decent delivery. Bishal keeping it under control. Martin Saitetaminola up to Beku. Kinle on a solid run down on that left flank, but Chogal had that red. Chance again. Tandon. Clean delivery inside, but BFF lost their footing and couldn't keep it under control. Jimmy helping out with a desperate run down that right flank to get some help over. But that dribble will take that ball beyond the line and will be a throw in for BFF. Abayomi is back on the pitch. For those of you who may have been worried if you were a Grizzly fan, but BFF no longer any initiative, did have a lot of opportunities when Transport United were down to 10. With Daniel out. As Beku again could have been better, but it at least keeps possession alive. Lob back in. Andrew up to Bishal, who may want a shot from distance. Well, at least it carried a lot of promise until that wind-up landed on that ball. Andrew back to Bishal, took way too long. BFF closing in. Tikendra does get one over that press, but it is right back towards Chogal Cherab, who gets a header in. It is towards Andrew Aboyamoa. Abayomi right down the middle, lets it roll. Kinley on that left flank. Abayomi cutting in, but initiative lost. BFF has regrouped. Transport will have to find another avenue to get there next. Ayatele pass played right towards Chinle, and a lot of danger steadily making their way towards the Kendra, but Martins does get a read on Taripunso's dribble. A foot on the ball, all he needed to send it right back to his goalkeeper. 8 minutes past the 1 hour mark. A bit more than 20 minutes remain as Transport United send it up long. Abayomi again. This time too narrow of an angle to get a run in towards the post, but a left-footed delivery will find Tandepenjo. Got there right in time, made no mistake with the read as well. BFF a bit too casual of a touch there, and now the Grizzlies in possession. Baited that challenge, now a man down. Abayomi was much closer than he realized. As Somdoji downed by Bishal, but it is a Transport's possession to play on with. Kinle sends it right down the middle to Abayomi. It will roll right out to the other flank. Tenepenjo sends it out, and finally attention towards the down number 10. Alu, hopefully he is okay. It was collision with Bishal, not quite sure as to what the exact contact was. Again, on screen is Transport United's new head coach. Brought in last minute. Can only imagine the roller coaster he is going through, but does have a capable staff behind him helping him out. I do believe the main guy involved is also Transport United's former head coach, the other Ishe, who is right now head coach for the Transport United ladies side, helping the new coach get adjusted before he can take over the reins completely. And now Transport United, possession deep inside BFF territory, gets it right back. Sange curls one in, but it is right towards the defender. Andrew couldn't quite meet it. Titaniel now taking on that assignment. A through ball played up front. The flag is staying down. May get a shot off. Titaniel is lost. Second challenge is lost as well. But hung on to that ball for far too long for a shot to properly manifest. Plenty of promise with that those first couple of dribbles. Close call there for BFF Academy, but their score still 1. Kille trying to dribble it in, can't quite get past that in Sawang, who puts up a solid body in the way of that dribble. And now the other way, Tunle is there. Not much help, trying to get those feints in, ends up with a pass instead. Chogal Sharap getting involved inside Transport's half. May find the space for himself to take a shot, which is a reasonable option for BFF to get a goal in. Does have a cannon in his leg, which we haven't seen in a while. But they may want to get a proper build-up of if they want to get themselves warmed up before their international campaign, which is coming sooner, very soon. Vishal back to Tikendra Singh. Can't pass over to Ayatele, who finds a lot of space for himself if he wants to take it. But Biku helping out, will hand it towards Titaniel. Took a heavy touch there with that bounce. But solid control there from Jimmy Singh. Will keep it away from BFF, but that pass, tried to be a bit too nonchalant with that one. Had to force that challenge in to recover for that mistake. As there is a substitution coming in now. As Kinle being taken out, being brought in is Karma Bhunso for Transport United.
Substitution for Transport United FC. Jersey number 11, Kile Dorji, is replaced by jersey number 66, Karma Bhunso.
Solid delivery inside, only a touch remains! And on the follow-up after crossbar, Chogal Sharap. Again, a closer look at that one. Rinzin, delivery, Chogal, a lot of space, that header. Yup, it went in the first time around. A bit too late for Transport's appeal as BFF now find the answer to step 1 in this 3-part problem. 2 more left. As Abayomi looking to keep it 3. Bishal, a lot of pressure. These youngsters now smelling blood, on the hunt, but this time that pass from Alu goes right towards Titaniel.
Goal for BFF Academy, scored by jersey number 3, Chogal Sharap.
Again, I kept telling you guys, Chogal Sharap would get one in sooner than later. Did not come off of his signature long shot, but instead was the one up front, finding it through a header. Amazing effort there, point blank as well, no mistakes. A bit too late there as the goal already in for Transport to make an appeal for that handball. But didn't matter, and now trying again. Tinley is a solid dribble pass, Sange Chopel. A bit too much handsy-pansy there. As now on the other flank, Tsindu Chamso gets one in up front. Still Tsindu Chamso. Angle for a delivery, tries to cut back in. Now outlet. Rins in. Down the middle. Wind up is proper, but the contact not quite so. Less than a quarter of an hour remains. Header flicked back. BFF Academy does have Abayomi making that press up, but it will not matter. It will be a throw in for the Grizzlies. Again, a closer look at that one. That ball went in directly off the crossbar. So was a goal on that first. A 90 as people would call it. As BFF. Still 2 more left in them. Clip down, but Jimmy taking it over Andrew, who is still down, calling for the referee, and Bishal will send it out to get his midfielder checked out. Hopefully he is okay, but he does seem to be in a lot of hurt and pain. A closer look at that. Yup. Just a tad late, a bit casual with that challenge. Clipped Andrew square to the shin. And with that close-up, just taking an opportunity to remind to all our viewers, if you play football, wear proper shin guards. Those small ones will not help you. On screen, head coach for BFF Academy, Coach Karma Tema, had a stellar start to the season with BFF rising up from nowhere. Nobody expecting them to be at the top of the table for as long as they did. But that run did come down eventually with that first loss, 5-1 against Paro. That second versus City continued on with RTC, and right now seems like it will be continuing on with Transport unless they can create 2 or maybe 3 miracles in the last 10 minutes we have left on the clock. Martin Zayatele gets one in past the press right towards Chikdrill. This Chikdrill, however, took too heavy of a touch there. Still trying to get that hustle up front against King Owachu. Trying to switch it up. Tinegazer taking on that matchup on that right. Does have an overlap as well. Baited that challenge first from Sange. But initiative will go right back out. Kinga sending it up long towards the Kendra as BFF lose yet another crucial opportunity. Tanipunso. Tanitong sends it out to the side. They will want their team to regroup in these positions before they face off against Transport United, because taking them on in transition is right now proving to be an uphill battle, out of which Abayomi already has found his foe. Solid defense there. gets the job done. It will be BFF for the throw-in. Abayomi closing in. Transport United not letting BFF gain even a single inch in this ground as Chimisinghe misread his interception of the ball, and now BFF the other way. Their chance to get something going in transition. Gets it past Daniel. A heavy challenge. BFF is the other way in an instant. Abayomi, look at that freakish pace. Knocked down, but the referee will say it's clean. It will be a corner instead for Transport United. Again, a closer look at that. Chocolate, shut up. Yep, definitely seems to have clipped the ball with his heel first before it could ever threaten Abayomi. Solid defending there from the academy's hidden gem, should I say. As now 8 minutes remain on the clock. Biko's deliveries have been lethal so far. Early on, found Daniel time and time again. Can he do so again this time? Does seem like it is Daniel again. Overhead. Way too low there to get it over the consolidated defense inside that box. And now the academy youngsters the chance to take it the other way, but a bit too careless with that pass. Kinga a bit late to that challenge. Andrew Abo got a dribble in. Despite the recovery, still Transports looking to wind it up. But a body in the way, it will be the Grizzlies to take. Tanu Bunso did well, making sure that ball never left the ground. Five more minutes left. Still a realistic chance that BFF may be able to find two within this time frame. Ayatele couldn't quite control it, but Tikendra right behind will now try and bait that formation from BFF into scattering just a tiny bit. Tikendra sending it up long. Target is Ayatele. Apologies, Andrew. Tried to chip one in to the flanks there for Abayomi. Well, Jimmy, but didn't really work out according to plan. And Titanium, Biku, Andrew, back to Bishal. That midfield trio coming alive in this match. Andrew, not quite the impact he would have wanted to have in this match, but his partners more than making up for it as a successful dribble gets past Daniel, but had to be chopped down, had to be strutted down in place. Bishal just a bit too late, and it will be towards Daniel. But it was coming towards Bishal with the way it was going. But that yellow card went towards Daniel, who was caught by surprise. Right now, 2 yellow cards for Transport United. The first one was towards Andrea Boyamoa early on. Seemed like Daniel was given that yellow for launching that ball off even after that whistle and the foul. By no means foul intent, but that action itself as the Kendra. Dangerous position. BFF Academy almost got one in the first time around. Barely managed to push it out of the way with his fingertips. But possession still may be for BFF to finish, as he gave away that shot over to Rinzin. Will lob one inside. Martin Saitele roll back out, and a solid effort off the crossbar. Follow up off the crossbar as well. What a string of possessions there by BFF. Simply cursed at this point. And now Abayomi up front. But took a touch way too heavy there, as BFF struggling. Rinzin. Now a lot of pressure on BFF, seeing those two misses. Should have gone in. But it is what it is. This is a game of football still too. Again, a closer look at that first delivery from Rinzin. Was accurate. Shoved off barely by Tikendra. And the follow-up. Chogel. Ambitious there. Crossbar. And point blank in that header from Tandin Tewang. Still couldn't find it in. BFF seeing those chances, at least get them a decent look. Will rush that shot, and it will be nowhere near. Again, nice effort there from Sonam. Tandin Sewang. His head dropped way too early there to send it in. Tandin. Sange keeps it alive for Abayomi. Tightly hugging that flank. Trying to roll it in. Has plenty of speed. Got an outlet. Jigdrell. Still, Jimmy Singh on the other flank may have a chance to lob one in. Abayomi inside. Andrew as well. Both capable at finishing off those air balls. But they will get yet another opportunity again. The last minute of regular time before we see the signal for extra time. The Transport United with the lead 4 against BFF Academies 2 in possession. Throw in deep inside BFF Academies half. Solid, but it is a bit too short there. Easy header back out. Transport may still have possession after this one. Thought they'd recovered with that challenge going in. But now Titaniel gets that feint in and Rinsdoji to go, and now had that vision at least to see that run up front from Abayomi, but now Rinzin the other way. 5 more minutes have been added, which means it is plenty of time for BFF, who may look to find a couple more. So now, back out. Tinley is there. Tries to cut it in, but Andrew, solid read on that move. Will find an outlet out towards Station Jigdro. And now an open lane. Not quite the fastest player on that flank, but did have the sense at least to put that body in the way and to disable the run coming in from the defender. As BFF, they have been lighting it up in the last couple of possessions, but Tileheza this time around will not find the placement he wants on that delivery. Could have made it clean, but a lot of ifs and buts always. When it comes to football, you only brush it off and you play on. As now it is back to Tikendra Singh to send it up front. 4 minutes left. Biku off to the left. Dichinjik drill trying to cut in. Does not have the pace to get past the two defenders, but still manages to find an angle in. Kept alive on the other flank. Just barely. But the Grizzlies will do well to keep possession still. Solid chance in the dying couple of minutes of the match. As for delaying that start, Biku will be given a yellow card from the referee. A lot of cards being thrown the way of Transport United. They will not want their players to get suspended in a crucial match later on. So hopefully they keep that in mind. As despite the chance, that first attempt ends up in failure. Abayomi down at the end of a short corner, trying to shave off as much time as they humanly can, but BFF sending it up long, off to Ty Daniel. Karavanzo up on the right. Biku deflection. It will go out for yet another Grizzly throw-in. Abayomi managing to shave a couple more seconds off, trying to get that throw in. Smart there from Transport, as slow as it may be. Sent it way up above the scoreboard this time, quite literally. No mercy there from Transport United, who want to make sure that they get the job done. So many times they've been done in by last minute heroics. The most memorable one was that 2-2 draw versus Paro at Wochu. That up until the last possible minute seemed like it ended up in a draw, until the last 20-30 seconds where Yuta Mishima decided to make it 3. Caught off guard that time. This time Transport United taking no risks at all. At least they are giving BFF Academy the proper respect that they deserve. They are acknowledging BFF Academy as an opponent that are realistically capable of getting one in, no matter how short the window of time may be. As now Biku launched off a proper one, but will miss that target quite wide, and BFF Academy for the restart. The last couple of seconds left. Any time now until the ref is looking at his watch. Did just then. BFF Academy may get one proper attack up front. Sonam lobs one up high, but Tikendra meets that ball first. Back out to Thunder Benjo. That may be it, but BFF given a couple more seconds. BFF Academy do not have much time left. They will have to rush this possession before the referee decides to end it. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have our victors. 4 goals from the captain has given Transport United the victory over BFF Academy, who despite the lead early on managed to at least get one in, had the chance to get a couple more in, but simply not in favor of fortune, which seems to shine upon Transport United today. Goals from BFF Academy courtesy of Chogal Sharap in the 74th minute and Tillingazer in the second will not be enough as they continue on with a 4-game losing streak. And they will still remain down at 6th, tied alongside Sirang FC at 10 points. On the other end, Transport United move back into the top 3. Again, despite what many may say, dedicating a season and committing a season towards youth development mean you do not expect to be placed that high anytime in the season. You expect to take a couple of losses, but right now Transport United definitely playing out of their minds right now as they get yet another win, and they now move up to 15 points, 2 behind Thimbu City, 2 games behind Paro, who are up at 19, and that is where we end the story for today. Until the next one, ladies and gentlemen, this was your commentator, Uginta Tochi. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for the feedbacks. Thank you guys for the love. And see you guys in the next one. Do let me know which team you are rooting for. Do go over to Facebook. Do support our pages. See you there. Bye-bye.